Dear future Enoch, so the other day I had a dream, and it wasn't a very spectacular dream. It was just a scene of me sitting on the floor in the hallway of my elementary school when I was in third grade. It was entirely unremarkable, and I'm honestly surprised that I remember the dream or even that memory at all. The world was a different place in 2007, and so was I. And yet, despite those differences, the world from 2007 is technically the same world that we live in, and the me from 2007 is also the same me in 2023. It's really fascinating because you're not the same person as time passes, but at the same time, you are the same person. Your memories and your experiences and your life lessons teach you and shape you and change you. But your memories also ground you in the past and make you the same person by maintaining that linear relationship between the past self and the present self. And looking back at this completely unremarkable memory from third grade, man, was I a different person back then, and man, I'm a different person today. But also, I'm also the same person. Third grade was an interesting time. I remember my mom wasn't a huge fan of my third grade teacher. I'm over here, by the way. Yeah, my mom wasn't a huge fan of my third grade teacher because, well, she wasn't that good, but in retrospect, she wasn't that bad either. Like, there was this one geography assignment where she just gave it to the class and said, okay, go figure it out yourself. And I was a geography whiz back then, and I still am now, so it wasn't that difficult for me to figure out. My mom's impression of her after that was that she was a lazy and terrible teacher. In retrospect, she probably had a bad day that day. That doesn't excuse her for what she did, but you can't harbor grudges forever, and you can't step in the same river twice. In third grade, I didn't really have a good idea of what I wanted to do when I grow up, and I mean, a lot of ideas are floating in my head. In first grade, I wanted to be a doctor. In grade 2, I think I wanted to be an astronaut. In third grade, I wanted to be a construction worker because my terrible third grade teacher's husband was a construction worker. By fourth grade, I wanted to work in the automotive industry, like manufacturing cars. Hey, I mean, a kid can dream to be an assembly line worker. My grades weren't the greatest back then, and they weren't that great for most of my schooling life. And with all the mediocre grades I was getting, my mother said that I was basically gonna become a homeless beggar. Yeah, that's a great thing to tell a kid. Just go up to every single kid on the street and tell them, hey kids, you should aspire to be hungry, homeless hobo Joe. And now here I am in my 20s. I'm working an office job as a technical writer, and third grade me would probably have no clue what the hell that was. And if you were to describe it to him, he would probably think it was completely boring and uninteresting. Third grade me wanted to be a lot of different things, and third grade me could have been a lot of different things. My life didn't have to go the way that it currently is. There are many theories about infinite parallel universes where each parallel universe is its own possibility. It's mind-boggling to think of all the things that could have been. Like, how many different probabilities are there? Like, how many different directions could your life and everybody else's life could have gone? And don't even get me started about how the universe came to be, or how this Earth came to be. Like, of all the different probabilities out there, this Earth didn't have to exist in most of them. But as fun as it is to ruminate about this stuff, it doesn't change the fact that this is the universe we live in. This is how things played out. The universe has dealt its cards, and you have what you have right now. The cards that the universe dealt you is who you are right now. It shapes your identity, it shapes your past, it shapes your current thinking. I can't change the cards that I start out with, or the cards that I receive, but I can choose which cards to play, and I can choose what I think about the cards I receive. For me, the universe dealt me, in third grade, the terrible teacher card, and the wants to be an assembly line worker card, and the mom thinks you're going to be a hungry homeless hobo Joe card. That might not sound like the most enlightening of cards to receive, but the universe deals much more cards than just that. And you don't have to accept the cards that the universe gives you. How you choose to play those cards is entirely up to you. I mean, if it means anything, I'm 25, I'm not an automotive assembly line worker, I don't care about the teacher, and I'm definitely not a hungry homeless hobo Joe. There's a branch of philosophy that looks at animals. Not the study of animal sciences, but how they think, or if they think. And there's a bit of a running joke that philosophers should just emulate cats, because cats don't ruminate about their lives, they just live. And so do all of the birds that have been serenading me for the entire morning. And they're not being weighed down by the fact that the universe dealt them the Be a Bird card and the You Live in Suburbia with All of the Humans card. They just are. They just live. They don't ask these questions. I want to disagree. I think that since we have the capability to think about these things, we should. But at the same time, I think that we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that our purpose here, no matter what it involves, or if we have a purpose, at least involves living. Future Enoch, I'll see you next week.